Are you struggling with setting a default value for an enum field in Flask SQLAlchemy? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers face. I totally get how frustrating it can be when your code doesn't behave as expected. You write everything perfectly, but then you run into a snag. This is a common hurdle for many developers. Let's take a look at the specific question at hand. One user recently shared their code for creating a table using Flask SQLAlchemy. They noticed that the default value for their enum field wasn't showing up in the MySQL table creation output. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what's going on here? When you define an enum field in SQLAlchemy, the default value should ideally be reflected in the database schema. If it's not, there might be a few reasons behind it, such as migration issues or how the enum is defined. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that can help you avoid similar issues in the future. To address the issue with the default value for the enum field in Flask SQLAlchemy, the user should first ensure that the default value is correctly set in the model definition. Next, the user needs to run the migration commands to apply the changes to the database. This involves initializing the migration and then upgrading the database. After running the migration, the user should check the database schema again to confirm that the default value for the enum field has been applied correctly. If the default value still does not appear, the user may need to manually alter the table in the database to set the default value for the enum field. Finally, the user should test the application to ensure that new entries in the mailbox table now default to the specified value for the alias field. Fun fact, did you know that enums in programming can help make your code more readable? They allow you to use meaningful names instead of arbitrary values. It's like giving your variables a personality. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests using the server default parameter for your enum field. To set a default value, you need to include parentheses in your code. Now, let's see a response from a different user. An alternative solution from another user suggests changing the default parameter to server core default. This adjustment ensures that the default value for the enum field is correctly set in the database. Here's a quick tip. Always double-check your migration scripts after making changes to your models. This can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to set the default value for your enum field successfully. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on Flask and SQLAlchemy.